Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our special announcement on a game-changing opportunity here at IAMS Inc. We appreciate you taking some time out of your day and joining us. It's important to us, and we hope it will be important to you as well to learn more about this special opportunity that we have now here at IAMS. So joining me today is Chris Conroy. Chris is our head of annuity sales, EVP. He's also an attorney. We won't hold that against him. This is all about sales here today. So we're going to try and get through this quickly. We promised you about 15 minutes, and so we're just going to take 15 minutes to let you know what we think is something that can change your business and change your life a little bit on the annuity side. So many of you know, but some of you don't know that IAMS has spearheaded kind of a new product class in the annuity marketplace. Obviously, for years, we've been working with SPIAs, we've been working with MIGAs, multi-year guarantee annuities, and finally, of course, FIAs and standard kind of fixed annuity products that we worked with all before '94. As some of you may know, and you've seen them in the marketplace, and we are kind of on the leading edge of the development of the product that we have coined as a MIGA. The MIGA is a multi-year guarantee indexed annuity, and so that's what we want to talk about today. We're going to talk about these products in general, get down a couple of specific details about it. We'll have an announcement at the end as to how we're going to count those for convention, because we know the trek to Quebec is important to you all as well. So let's just move down a little bit. So IAMS, as some of you may know, is the only IMO that has access to each of these MIGA products. Some of that is because in two cases, we were basically in the product development part of it. One is exclusive only to IAMS, and then we're fortunate enough to be included in a couple of groups, which we'll go over in a moment here, that have these types of products as well. So if you're looking for the MIGA, IAMS is your home. And I wanted to make sure that all of our present producers know that, because I think it does give you a competitive advantage in the marketplace to have this type of product line. We know that people are looking for good guarantees, whether that's on a FIA chassis or on a MIGA chassis, and more than ever, they're looking for good, strong guarantees when the market is maybe a little bit moving around a little bit more than what we're used to. So having these products and having a MIGA type product with a little bit of an indexing opportunity that gives them the opportunity to earn much greater returns, we think is a really strong offering that if you haven't looked at closely, that you should. If you haven't been making it available to your clientele, maybe opportunity to do so. And it is also an opportunity to gain some new clientele. Think of the CD marketplace as probably the best target for folks looking for good guarantees, but also being able to say, hey, we've got a great guarantee, maybe the same as that CD, but we've got upside that is a tremendous kicker that can really make a difference in your clients' lives. So that's kind of the basic idea of how the MIGA can help you and help your clients. And we need your help. We were fortunate enough to be in the design phase with a couple carriers in these products, and we're part of a group that we have commitments to, and we want to fulfill those commitments with, we think, is a product line that can really help our producers. So we need your help to make that happen.
Well, let me jump in, Steve. I know we're going to talk about kind of the history. How did we get here?
Right.
So, this is a conversation I think you and I had, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. Yep. Is, where is there opportunity in the marketplace? We're always having conversations with our best carrier partners, and this led to thinking we need to go simple. When we have the marketplace going, more riders, more vol control indices, more complexity, and we said, can we really come up with something that can serve that customer who's looking for guarantees and simplicity and not a lot of moving parts? So with that, we also said we know that pricing is important. So to have efficiency in pricing, the simpler the design, the something that could be hedged, something that there's a reinsurance market for, was really important. So when we worked with a consulting actuary to come up with that, those were all the big things that we looked at. And ultimately what you see is a marketplace now of MIGAs, the three main ones that are out there that we've helped with, that really can serve those needs. And it kind of fills that box of somebody that's looking for a simple market side upside return, but they also have the peace of mind of a good guarantee. And I think that's we've always heard zero's your hero. Well, what if, 4 was your floor or 3 was your hero, whatever. So
5 was your jive.
yeah, so lots of different, ways to think of it. But, basically, what if you had a return, especially in today's rate environment where everybody's thinking rates going to be coming down? What if you could make sure you had a 3 or 4% return? You got the 4% return rule from William Bengen, all these things that kind of make 3 or 4% a more valuable number. And so we took a lot of that pricing power, put it into the guarantee, and then took the rest of it for a really simple, transparent indexing upside. So built on a MAGA chassis, but people who say, I believe in the market, especially the S&P 500, is going to drive some returns. That's really what we tried to do here.
But I don't think you can sell short the idea that you've got a good guaranteed rate, but you also have some guarantees in the crediting options that you can now just say to your client, hey, we're looking at 10-year backcasting, and one of the major factors is what's the renewal rate going to be?
Right.
If you can control that, if you can set it at the outset and you can tell your client this is what it's going to be, that takes a lot of the guesswork. And now you can really point to those 10-year histories and say, hey, the market's a factor and you can't control the market, but everything else is under control.
That's right. I mean, the idea was no renewal rates. So, I think a biggest concern we hear from producers is this a teaser rate, or is the carrier going to do this for a while? Candidly, I don't think carriers, having worked at one, do anything that's misleading. But what we know is that option price on an annual basis changes. And we've had kind of really, really low volatility, which means you can put more into the option prices. So, that's a risk. That's a real risk that you have to go back to your client and kind of resell the whole product all over again. These products avoid that. Everything's locked in at issue. The base rate and the upside rate. And it's really that simple. So kind of a couple of the features there. It's really built on a MIGA chassis. This is actually filed as a MIGA. And you have a straightforward, S&P 500, straight S&P 500 upside, really, or bonus. It's designed, most of these you'll see on 3, 5, and 7-year chassis, which has worked really well with the yield curve kind of better on the short end of the tail right here, right now. And that's worked out very, very well. But there's a flexibility as things may change. Maybe there's a lot of upside opportunity on a 5 or 7-year, and that's where you'll see more pricing power go into those kind of durations. Everything's locked in, and then a competitive commission. These are designed, they're actually on average about 20% higher than a MIGA commission. Not as high as maybe an FIA, understand that, but really the simplicity and putting the pricing power into it is what's important here. These have been in the news a little bit. So if you read anything in the industry news, Insurance Newsnet, Wink, Life and Annuity Specialist, we were the first to come to market with a true MIGA type of product there. Life and Annuity Specialist featured that fusion product with American Life that we launched a little over a year ago. I was interviewed out in DC at the NAFA meeting, talking about the MIGA product fit. And then we have our SBLI product and the Rebel One product that came out in the spring. So this is a product that has gained some attention. The news press has picked it up a bit. We're real excited about where that can fit for your client that we'll talk about in a minute. I'm not going to go through all the details here, but just, these are the 3 feature MIGA products that are out there. What you're going to see is a varying base rate or MIGA rate. That's a guaranteed compound rate over the full term. It's not some kind of first year rate, could be dropping down to 1%, as most FIAs do. These are, cost part of the pricing, of course, but what you have is somewhere between 3.5% and up to 5% with the American Life Fusion product. That's a guaranteed kind of worst case scenario on a compound basis. There's an S&P index bonus or interest credit that can kick in. So take the SBLI product. What you have is you're going to get the better of the two. So, think of this as the highest anniversary value type of par rate. So let's take the 5-year product. There's a 60 par, you get a 4% base rate. Well, let's say year 1 goes up, years 2 up, 3, 4, and then year 5, the S&P comes down. You're gonna get the highest anniversary value. In that example, year 4. And so maybe it was up 100% at year 4, but it came back down like 2022 did. Well, you're gonna get 60% of kind of that high water anniversary number. So when we ran the math on this, that's very, very attractive. It also provides some peace of mind. You're not going to lose some of those gains that you've ratcheted in those first few years. The Rebel One design has a 4% base rate. It's a true endpoint design, so on a 3, 5, and 7-year chassis. So I don't know, let's take the 7-year. So at the end, you can get 70% of the par rate of the S&P. You got to wait till the very end to calculate that, and that also can provide a lot of potential return as well. And then the American Life Fusion is a little different design. It's really called a threshold bonus. So S&P goes up 25% over the 5-year term. Customer gets a bonus. They get a 9% bonus, which ends up equating to 6.83%. So how often does that happen? As you see in the example there, about 80% of the time. So, that beats the heck out of a MYGA out there today. They have very competitive MYGAs, all these companies do. But, 683 is really a more likely scenario. I think over the last 10 years, it's like 95% of the time you would get that bonus. You got really attractive issue ages there too, Steve. I mean, going up to 90 when a lot of even short-term FIAs, they don't go to 90. And that's for a client, that can really, look at it as a short-term parking lot for some of their money. So we'll talk about it in a second. You see the variety of state availability. So make sure you check with your sales director there, and also the kind of carrier information, their AM Best rating. All of these are very strong companies, whether they're owned by an asset manager or they're mutual, they're all very good companies, just a difference in AM Best rating.
Let's talk about, before we switch, Chris, so let's talk about the simplicity. So American Life Fusion product, your client's either going to earn over the 5-year time frame a 5% guaranteed rate, compounded, or they're going to earn 6.83 if the S&P goes up 25%. Very easy story. All of these products are based on the S&P, which again, it makes it very easy for your client, very easy for you to walk through your client how it works. The upsides with the Rebel One and the SPLI products are probably higher. The potential upsides are probably going to be higher. So it gives you an idea of what you can talk to your client about. So you go in and talk to your client, you know what a 5-year CD is right now. They're probably 5-year CDs. If you look on the internet and say, hey, what's the best one? It's going to be less than 5.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, maybe 4 or something.
Yeah, 4, 2, 4, 3.
And they might be limited to 10 grand or something. I mean, you see a lot of these teaser rates and they advertise like, hey, we're going to offer 10% for 3 months or something, which is kind of silly. But these are real rates that are attractive out there. Good point about we can get you the illustrations. That's the next step for you to think about for sure. But if you look at the backcasting, just use the NAIC model. I mean, we're not no smoke and mirrors here. This is exactly what everybody has to follow, that NAIC model. And what you're going to see with, say, the Market Crest product is anywhere from a worst case of, say, 3-4% all the way up to 11%. If you kind of blend all that NAIC numbers together, like what's the real world, it's really 6, 7, 8%. I mean, and that's an S&P. This is straight S&P. So you always have that peace of mind of the guaranteed rate, the MYGA rate, but you got a really simple upside there where, I mean, those are real returns that we've experienced recently, not just kind of, we hope this works out. So I think that's a clean design, something we can really get behind. And then, we got the state availability chart. This is one that you can ask for. We've got a couple more additions coming soon to this from these carriers. So ask for that. You can see your availability. We have you covered pretty much all states. If we don't yet, we will soon. And then, Steve, I'll just talk about the first part of this, which is where does this fit? What kind of client do you have? It could fit a lot of boxes. I mean, the reality is we know the MYGA market is a 200 billion for the B market. The FIA market is going to be 120 million. There's a RILA market out there that's growing quickly at like 50 billion. There's a massive opportunity in that MYGA to FIA market, like full guarantee or part, guarantee here with upside potential. So better projected returns than a MYGA. We know that. You can look at the numbers. Yeah, the worst case could be a 3, 4, 5%, but with the upside potential and the incidence of that hitting, it's much better. The commission is better, generally about 20% better than what you get there. CD alternatives out there, I just pulled this morning, the average CD rates, if you just drive down the street, you're looking at 1 to 2%. That's over a 1 to 5 year duration. If you look real hard, you might get 4, but you're gonna be limited out, and that's obviously not gonna make you any money. But we also know the Fed, who is meeting this week in Jackson Hole, is gonna be announcing some rate changes, rate cuts. That's gonna impact what the banks can offer for CDs. So we know that, we expect to see those coming down. We even hear customers talking about short-term FIAs. So there are some 5-year FIAs out there. We sell a chunk of that as well. People, they kind of want to park money for a shorter term, not ready to do a 10-year lock-in. Well, if you look at it, in fact, I'd run the illustration, just do 2 of these MYGA terms. We can do that with a lot of these. where you can see what exactly you'd be getting. Well, a lot of times that's outpacing what you could get with a 5-year FIA. And keep in mind, again, those are guaranteed, locked-in rates day one. Those in the rep space, or those that are having conversations generally about the customers' equity holdings like bonds and stocks. A lot of people are talking about bond alternatives here. So, I polled BlackRock, which is one of the largest investment houses in the world. Their capital market assumptions, essentially, what are they handicapping that you're going to get on average as a client on aggregate bond index? Essentially, safe money bonds is 4.54 over the next 10 years. So as we're talking about right here, you can lock in much better with those rates that are out there. Oh, we might hit the lights here.
I'll wave.
Yeah. Also, we hear some people, I know we've talked about kind of doing a laddered annuity sale. A lot of you guys think about bucketing money over time, whether it's short-term, mid-term, long-term, or lifetime. This can be a part of that solution, particularly on the short end of the design there. Go ahead, Steve, on the client profile.
Sure, let's talk about the clients and to touch base a little bit on where does the MIGA fit and CD alternative opportunities just huge. You know that banks are going to be offering these products soon. As far as I know, I haven't seen them in any banks yet. It's a perfect product for a bank, as you can imagine. So we want to get out ahead of that. Again, rates are going to be falling. How will that affect these products? It'll probably affect what we could offer in terms of rates on these, but it is going to outsized affect what the CD market does. The CD market's going to go down more than what we will. Bottom line is, let's get it while at the current rates while we can. This is a great time to lock your client into a good position. So client profile, so focused on locking in today's relatively high guarantees. I just chatted about that. We all know what that means. One of the things that, and I've touched on it earlier, is the renewal rate risks, whether we were selling an old flexible product in 1990 or selling a indexed annuity a year ago. That renewal rate risk is a real thing, and it's a real conversation you have with your clients. And it's not a bad conversation all the time, but it can be. But what if you could tell your client, hey, there is no renewal rate that we have to worry about here. What you see today is what you get. You don't have to worry about reallocations. You don't have to worry about any of that. You set it and forget it. It is really going to be one of the easiest annuity sales that you'll ever make. Obviously, the MIGA sale is real simple, but the value of the story that you can present when you put that in, kind of balance it out against the relative simplicity of this product, really makes this a very, very positive conversation to have with your clients. So simple, transparent, clean. That's what we headed for. We knew it had to work for the carriers. We know that it has to work for the clients. We know that it has to work for you. You've got to have that balance correct. But first thing, let's make it simple. Let's make it so that it's an easy thing for a client to understand and a producer to present. So that's how we arrived here. So let's talk about next steps. What are the things that, if you're on today, and we're not going to run any polls, so our plan is, if you are on today, you probably have some interest. We'll probably get you a little information out. But if you need information right away, give your IAMS sales director a call. You all have our number, 800-255-5055. Just call and say, hey, let me talk to a sales director. They're well schooled in these products, how they work, where they're available, and can help you with illustrations. We'd love to get you out a sales kit. We really, on our latest offering, the SBLI, we've just gotten completed the brochures and the illustrations. So if you had called in earlier and we talked about this, we didn't have those available. They are available now. Illustrations look fantastic on all of these products. And then, let's talk it through. If you're selling a MIGA, if your client is interested in a MIGA type product right now, you have to talk to them about this product. The upside is just too great to ignore. And we got to get you appointed. The appointment process is as easy as it can be, but it's still something that has to be done. We got to get the training done. So if you have interest, let's get those things started, because what happens in October? That's the biggest month for CD renewals. And what's going to happen once the Fed meets is rates are going to start to, that rate ripple is going to start. In fact, it's already started, as you know, but it's going to get fired up a little bit more. And so now is the time to get these products in front of your clients.
Yeah, the other thing I'd say, Steve, I mean, we've kind of been running in low volatility. In September, we were looking to report our friends at RBC over there. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate you sending those reports on. September historically, pre-election always seems to be volatility, and the S&P actually goes down, I think on average, -5% the last 6 or 8 years. So, we're going to probably, we haven't seen it quite yet in September. I don't know, maybe after last night's debate, we will. I'm not sure how to read that, but anyhow, I mean, I think we're going to see some volatility. We haven't seen it all year. Obviously, that plays into the need for an FIA where you have a guarantee. This obviously is a better guarantee. Those zeros, your hero is a great story, but what if you could offer more, as a guarantee? Plus, it's just a really simple, easy design. And I know, Steve, we're excited about a couple of incentives. This is something we felt so passionately about. We said, well, even though these are really designed, they're not, huge commission type of design products, but they're really a great fit. They pay more than a MIGA, but maybe not as much as an FIA. How are we going to credit this? So we believe so much that we're going to credit 100% for trip credits. So we got our great Quebec trip, which many of you know about. If you don't, definitely ask about it. That's coming up next year, not too late to qualify. So take a look at that. 100% credits there. If you're a new producer, you're eligible for the new producer bonus, which is a very lucrative way to pay for marketing dollar kind of costs and offset. We'll give you 100% credit for that. And if you're in our marketing credits program, again, we'll credit 100% FIA treatment on that.
Absolutely. And of course, that should reflect to all of you how important this is to us. For us to get these products moving and off the shelves and in clients' hands and get some momentum going is really important right now. We're right at the start. Let's get fired up, and we need your help to do that. I know a lot of the people on today are folks that have been with us for many, many years and been really great supporters of IAMS. So we are asking you today to look at these products, give them a once over. I think you'll see the value of them in certain scenarios, and we'd love to have you start writing some tickets. And there's no doubt that we're putting our money where our mouth is with the convention incentive, full credit, and marketing reimbursement and new producer bonus full credit as well. That's why we did that. We really need your help. So appreciate everybody's joining us today. I know that here we are in the middle of the week and it's 10 a.m. and you're all anxious to get out and get talking to your clients and do what you need to do. So we appreciate you taking some valuable time out of your day to join us. It's important to us, and we don't take it for granted that you're willing to do so. So huge crowd on today. Thank you for joining us. I will leave you with our 800 number, 800-255-5055. Give us a call if we can help you, and we'd love to get your call today. Chris, is there anything you want to add as we close out?
No, just put the MyG in your bag. We appreciate everything you do as an independent producer. We don't exist without you. You're the hero. You're the one, solving clients' problems, delivering them peace of mind. I think this is just another great tool to have in your bag. I think you almost need to have it nowadays with a lot of clients looking for certainty and guarantees. So thank you for your time today.
Appreciate it, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you.